Okay, the Dominion Squad. Here's where, on the first read through, I would have to admit that I read the Dominions and I thought, oh, they really got nerfed, and I was disappointed. But I did a second read through, looked at how they play out, and I think they got better. Now, there's some changes to them, and they're significant changes, but I think all in all, Dominions are much better than they were in the previous edition. And here's why. They're cheap. They're the same price practically as Battle Sisters. And they're in the fast attack slot, so they're going to score in Scourging, and they'll also score in Purge the Alien. They have all the rules as a normal Battle Sister, and the same equipment. So they have active faith, and their active faith is different than the other squads. What their active faith does is it gives them the ability to ignore cover with their shooting once per game. And this is a big change, and this is where in the previous edition they were twin-linked. And I was a little unhappy to see that this changed, but on second read-through and thinking about how it plays out, I think this is an improvement. Because they have Scout, so these girls are probably going to outflank in many games, or they're going to drive an Immolator up right at the Scout phase, and then jump out in round one and shoot something. Usually, what you're going to shoot is a vehicle, or a really important target like a Demon Prince or a Terminator Lord or something. So you're going to shoot someone that is probably hanging out in cover. You're doing that because you have AP1 weapons in all likelihood. Or AP2, so it's not going to matter about their armor, but you're going to try to blow something up and or kill it, and if you can ignore cover, they basically have nothing but an invul save if they have it. So Dominions, once per game, can ignore cover. On the downside, it's only once per game, but it's in my experience, it's usually the case that Dominion squads die the round after they come in because they remove their target and they're standing out in the open, and they get obliterated. So I often didn't get multiple acts of faith with them to begin with, unless they were kind of in an unimportant part of the board. So that's a big change. The second big change, the one that I think makes them significantly better than they were before and makes up for the lack of twin linking, is in the past you could take 2 special weapons. So you could take 2 Meltas or 2 Flamers with the Dominion squad. This is a big change. Now you can take 4 of them. So you can take 4 Dominions with special weapons in your squad of 5 girls. And one of those 5 girls, by the way, is your sergeant. So you could take 4 Meltas or multi-Meltas. You could take Flamers. Actually, you can't take multi-Meltas, I'm sorry. You could take 4 Meltas, you could take 4 Flamers. This is a big change. This really makes them much better because instead of having 2 of these, you can take 4. So you have 4 of them downrange, so even if you lost Twin Link, you have twice as many shots. That makes up for it, and you're probably still going to hit with most of them. And they're cheap. Cheap. 5 points for most of the things you want. So big bonus for the Dominions. They also always have at least a sergeant, which you could upgrade to a veteran, and on that girl you can take the melee weapons or the ranged weapons, and so you could take a combi flamer or combi melta or combi plasma or condemner bolt gun. So that superior gives you another one, so you basically can have 5 meltas, 5 flamers, 4 flamers, or plasma or something, walk in on that outflank in every game, and that's a big bonus for this group. They can still take the dedicated transport, which means you can put them in an Immolator, and you can give it multi-meltas or flamers, heavy flamers to be exact, and it gets scout or outflank with them. So I think this squad actually got a big boost in the current codex.